Canto 13, Still in the Heaven of the Sun, we have an elaborate theological discussion in which the brightness of the celestial spirits Dante sees is compared to various stars, including those in the constellation known as the crown of Ariadne, the Minoan princess, who became the bride of Bacchus, a mortal girl immortally loved. Death couldn't extinguish his everlasting passion. Forbidden by the fates to give her eternal life, Bacchus gave her this stellar tribute. He lifted up her crown, sent it into heaven. Theseus, who killed the Minotaur, eloped from Crete with Ariadne. Theseus is not actually mentioned in the poem, and a misinformed De Paulo supplied him, battling a centaur rather than a minotaur. Ariadne is more plausibly depicted. Abandoned on an island by her lover Theseus, she is revived by her new love. What the illustration lacks in relevance, it makes up in verve. The centaur is rendered with the assured fantastic anatomy developed in medieval bestiaries. The claw-like cloven hooves are sheer brio. De Paulo knew very well what a horse's hooves looked like. He was enjoying himself. Likewise, the wings of love remind us that birds are the most frequent and charming inhabitants of the world of illumination. Their brilliant heraldic-looking colors and seemingly absolute freedom made them an animal emblem of aristocracy and a favorite inhabitant of pictured manuscripts. Aquinas explains how Solomon can be called peerlessly wise, despite the fact that both Adam before his fall and Christ had the ultimate degree of human perfection. Shaped by God's own hand, dirt became worthy to accept the perfect and exemplary humanity of Adam. So too, at a word, the Virgin conceived in sudden motherhood the ultimate man. Thus I pronounce your opinion correct. No prior person, no future man, was, is, or will be made the equal of those two, the first and the best of men. The solution of the puzzle is that Solomon was wisest of men only as regards the art of ruling, a point which is reinforced by his crown. Adam is dressed in rough animal skins, with reference to the early days of his expulsion from Eden, the price of eating of the tree of knowledge, a fruited branch of which he holds out. Christ's supremacy in all things is suggested by the great sun behind him in an amplified echo of his halo. In Canto 14, Still in the Heaven of the Sun, Dante learns how, at the resurrection, the souls who have resumed their physical bodies will be able to bear the luminosity of God, which dazzles Dante more in each successive heaven. He is told, "When we put on the body once more, a body glorified and incorruptible, physical and at the same time spiritual, then at last will be completed, as God always meant us to be. So fully realized, so measurably real, we'll better please Him who is the highest good. Content with us, He'll increase our illumination, the awareness that makes us fit to see Him." On the ground we see 4 empty graves and 2 vacated sarcophagi. The transfiguration of the resurrected is suggested by the way the souls levitate in the golden sunbeams of the Day of Judgment. Their nudity makes them seem emphatically physical, while their weightlessness shows they have transcended the mortal condition. In Canto 15, we have entered the heaven of Mars, where Dante meets his ancestor Cacciaguida, who served in the Second Crusade. Thus he wears a crusader's cross on his breast. Dante compares his encounter with his ancestor with the scene from Aeneas' descent into the underworld in Book 6 of the Aeneid, where he meets his departed father Anchises. "I seemed to experience that moment during Aeneas' journey to the underworld, when he comes to the fields of Elysium, where the souls of the blessed abide. The ghost of his father Anchises runs to meet him, transported by paternal love. As Anchises hailed his son, the oncoming light addressed me thus, 'O my child, overflowing and undue is the goodness of God who unlocks for you the gates of this other world. my child, to whom at death they'll be opened once again. The figures it left are probably Cacciaguida's ancestors, whom he declines to identify out of modesty. As for my ancestors, they were Florentines, as far back as there was a Florence to be born in. To trace my race beyond this to ancient Rome, well, a gentleman doesn't boast. Thus the figures appear in the nudity of non-specific souls. One is asleep, the other barely awake, to suggest that Cacciaguida will not disturb their repose by naming them. Cacciaguida relates, I followed Conrad III of Germany on the Second Crusade in 1147. I served him so loyally and fought for him so well, he made me a knight. He himself fastened on my sword belt and gave me my blade. Cacciaguida's investing with sword and belt is shown at right, while at left we see him mounted, riding off to the crusade, and finally his death. Cacciaguida continued, I marched with Conrad against the wicked religion of Mohammed, against the misbelievers who now usurp the land to which we have, through Christ, a right. It was Mohammed's foul folk, the lying faith's followers, who freed me from this false world that stains the souls of all who love it much. A crusader's death in battle, which counts as a martyrdom, transported me beyond all pain to my present peace. Note the curved sword and the outpouring of his martyr's blood. Cacciaguida complains of the present degenerate state of Florence, which he blames on new people moving in. Today, the stock's been mixed and mongrelized by immigrants from all the surrounding villages that would have served well enough as Florence's borders, but to make them her suburbs, that's more than they, and worse than she, deserved. The descendants of the citizens who hailed from those dusty little dwarfs now abuse the trust of public office in Florence with their low peasant cunning, though they've learned to wash since they left the sty and cowshed. Nothing hoses off the stink of their dealings.